Today's video is the first in a series in which I document the progress of the short film I'm working on. Come along with me on this journey and get a unique look at the lowest of low-budget filmmaking. So the short film I'm working on right now is called Friends in Another Dimension. It's a little bit of a cheesy title, I know, but that comes from the origin of the whole project. So about 5 years ago, me and my sister set out to make a movie, and so we wrote it, we did the whole thing, and it took until 2022, and it was good for us at the time, for how old we are and all that, but at this point, it's not as much fun to look back on. I mean, it is for the memories, but it does not look very good. It didn't hold up to our standards as we kind of grew up. So my sister has written and is directing a remake of this with the same basic plot points, but with a lot more thought put into all the dialogue and all of that. And then I'm doing the action, the editing, cinematography, visual effects, and acting. So we have a cast and crew of about 8 to 10 people, one of which may be watching right now, and if that's you, you know who you are, and we will eventually get your shoot scheduled. The amount of people, this is about how many we had on our last couple of projects, and it does end up working pretty well when we get everything scheduled and planned out beforehand. That's a big lesson that we've had to learn over many, many film projects, is that you really have to plan everything. When you show up to set and just figure out what you're going to do on the day, you get like nothing done. I guess that should be self-explanatory, but it didn't stick in my head until recently. So this movie is a fantasy comedy adventure. It's got a kind of unique brand of comedy, but it's pretty funny, I think the script is. There's going to be, sword fights, action, adventure, magic, all that. I play two characters. I play the wizard, and he isn't very bright, always optimistic, and a little bit crazy. And then I also play his brother, the evil king, with extremely luxurious purple hair. Actually, hang on. Yeah. Extremely luxurious purple hair. And this gorgeous crown. We found this at a really nice costume shop. It's all metal. The whole film, or at least most of the film, we may get some drone shots in there too, is going to be shot on a Pixel 4a, which is a little bit outdated, but I was able to get the Blackmagic cinema camera app on that phone, so I can adjust my exposure, white balance, all that. It makes a big difference, and I'm going to shoot in 4K, which, it's not 8K, but it's better than 1080. So we'll do that, and hopefully it turns out really well. I foresee having to re-record a lot of lines and do ADR, which is automated dialogue replacement. Extremely unautomated, I don't know why it's called that, but since we're not getting great audio outside, we're going to have to do that. That's about the extent of the equipment we're going to be using. Now I'm going to catch you up on some of the costume design and prop making I've done, and my sister has done to prepare for the film. So the king in the movie has guards, and we only really had a budget for 2 guard costumes, which is good, because I mean, we don't really have that many people to play guards, so if we need more, we'll just duplicate them digitally. So these were from a costume store. They were about $10, $11, but we repainted the whole thing. They had that classic, it's actually kind of like this, black with highlights dry brushed on. So we did mirror chrome on the front and then just kind of made them all work up. We got some EVA foam chainmail on the sides, which I think is really cool, and it added a lot to the product. So yeah, we got 2 of those. That's pretty much the craziest costume we've had to do. The guards also have tabards, which is basically just like a big black, it folds in half over your neckline with a hole in it, and then has like a slit in the bottom. I'll put up a picture of it on the screen, you'll know. And then they also have shoulder armor pauldrons, and then, I know. I did a pair of these armored gloves for them as well, and standard weaponry for them is this sword. This is a polypropylene training sword that I have spray painted to be mirror chrome, and it's covered in, okay, whatever. It's going to need touched up over time because it's black underneath, and we're going to be hitting them together. But yeah, that's the standard kit for the guards. So that's the majority of the pre-production work that we've done so far. Since this is like such a small team, we're doing a lot of like working on stuff as we go. We're not just doing all of the pre-production at once and then all of the production and then all of the post-production. I really like to get my shots and then start doing test cuts of the scenes and just test the color grading and some of the visual effects, just so that I know the footage is going to work and I know we don't have to reshoot the whole thing. So just, it's a process of kind of figuring out what we need for a certain scene, getting the scene, and then making sure that it works in the edit and in the visual effects process. This is not how you would do it on a big budget film, I know, but as I said, lowest of low budget films, we're talking like less than $100 for the whole movie. So the reason I decided to start this series is because I think filmmaking should be accessible to everyone who wants to put in the time and effort to make something really cool. So I figured if I document kind of the process of this whole project, it'll maybe inspire someone. Maybe one of you guys wants to go make a movie with your friends. So if you do, definitely subscribe, because this is gonna keep going. So what got me making this video right now is that we just finished the first shoot of the whole project. We went out to a park that has a shelter house that looks like the inside of a castle, and we made that our dungeon. Now, one of the big challenges of super duper low budget filmmaking is that you don't usually have full locations, or that's what I've experienced. So you have to do a lot of kind of engineering in your head to turn a couple of different corners into a full set by, you know, doing one shot in one corner and then a reverse shot either in the same corner or a different corner or something that looks the same. And me and my sister had to do a ton of sketches from above just to figure out where everything was going to be. There's also going to be a lot of digital set extensions in this just to make the set seem a little bit grander and give it a bigger fantasy feel. So the first shoot went super well. We were able to get everything we needed, actually almost 2.5 pages in less than 2 hours, which is really good. Usually on a big budget film, you can do 3 to 5 pages in a day, and a day could be 12, 14 hours. So we made really, really good time. The audio was really bad because it was windy and raining outside of the shelter house. So we're gonna have to do ADR for most if not all of that scene. That's okay though, it'll be a really good experience, and I'm gonna try to get a better mic on set next time. So the scene entailed me sitting in the dungeon, boring a dungeon guard with a terribly long speech, and then me coming in as the king, reprimanding a guard for not getting the prisoner to talk about the correct stuff. The prisoner being me. It gets a little bit confusing, but it should make sense in the final film. This involved just doing all of my lines for one character, and then all of my lines for the other character after I changed costumes, and a reverse shot. Now for one of the shots, we left the camera in the same spot so that I could clone myself basically and have both characters appear in the same wide shot, which is looking pretty cool. I did a preliminary cut of that shot, and I think it looks decent. I also started color grading just to see if I could get the look that I wanted from the lighting that we had on set, and I think it looks really good. The other thing is that since this was a dungeon, we wanted some bars in the foreground of some of the shots, and I threw those together in Blender, rendered out a frame, and stuck them in front of the shot just to see if that approach would work, and I think it did. You can let me know if that looks good enough to you in the comments. Well, if you want to stay engaged with the process of this film, maybe do some giveaways. There's also merch and whatnot. Definitely subscribe. I will be making these videos around once a month, though I could do more or less than that, but hopefully more. And if you want to support the project, there is a merch store linked in the corner and in the description. There's also other ways that we could potentially set up for you to contribute, so if you want to do that, email me or let me know in the comments, and I will try to set something up. Thank you so much for watching and joining me on this really cool project, and I hope to see you back next time. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.